What up, virtual people? Welcome to episode 84 of VCR Redux, where we take your favorite franchises out of the analog era and bring them back to 2022. I'm your host, pop culture punk Chris Stiles, joined as always by my co-host with the most, film professor Ian Klink.
Merry holidays, everybody.
And we have two radical guests on the show tonight. First up, the third leg of our VCR tripod himself, Mac Daddy Mickey Torres, is back on the show.
What's up, everyone?
Also, fast approaching veteran VCR status from the New Jersey-based band Crash Romeo, whose newest single can be heard in the film Terrifier 2 now. Yeah. Steve Anderson is back on the show.
Hi, thank you guys for having me back.
Thank you so much for coming back on. We are here today to set toy traps, foil Christmas crimes, and bring Kevin McAllister back where he belongs. That's right, folks. This world needs Home Alone 7 Winter Soldier, and we're here to give it to you. But before the Wet Bandits can make bail, we need to talk about how Home Alone came into our lives and what we love about it. And of course, that includes everyone watching the live chat as well. Was it Love at First Laserdisc, Vital VHS? Hit us up in the live chat and let us know how Home Alone came into
you know what life. I love about you know what I love about this movie, Chris?
What do you love about this movie, Ian?
I love Home Alone 1 and 2. That's it.
Well, I feel like that's gonna be the consensus of about everyone.
That's the consensus of everybody in the world who actually
everyone who has anything. Eyes.
Good.
Everyone who has eyes who didn't participate in the Home Alone sequel.
So first, if you came to our chat tonight in this video and you're fans of Home Alone 3, I'm not going to tell you to get out. I'm just going to tell you you're ridiculous. All right. Yeah. If you watched any of the other sequels, get out.
You know, there's nothing wrong with being a cinephile / completionist. Like, there are some people that are just like, I don't care how many fucking Meatball sequels they make. I'm going to own them all. And
I mean, I watched all the Hellraisers. I watched all the Hellraisers.
Yeah, I have too. I've seen them all too.
I'm ashamed to admit it, but whatever they do with Jason, Michael Myers, Chucky, Leprechaun, if, you know, the original people are involved, then fuck, I'm going to watch it. Any rate. Getting back to Home Alone, Steve, do you remember the first time you watched Kevin McAllister straight up murder people?
So I'm back at it came out in 1990, right?
Correct.
So all right. So I was like 7, 8. I have no idea, to be honest.
That's
with
okay.
You. I don't think yeah.
Mickey was 27, so it's okay.
Yeah.
No. 14.
I don't think I saw it in theaters. The first time I ever remember watching it is like around the holidays at like a friend's house, something like that.
Okay, like a sleepover kind of thing.
Yeah, nothing exciting. Yeah, exactly.
Nothing exciting, man. Well, there's a thrilling retail.
I know, right? I know. I'm glad you started with me. Yeah,
a cribbing white knuckle thrill ride.
Yeah.
Mickey, I'm guessing this was a double date. What was this?
No, I was not interested in this movie at all. So I think I saw this for the first time, like over my younger cousin's house on VHS.
Okay.
So there, you know, and I mean, it was it was entertaining enough. I probably got through the first, you know, I know I got through the first 2, and then that was it. But yeah, it's just one of those movies where, like, I know there's a lot of love for these movies, or at least the first 2, and it's not one that I always read. Like, you know, it's Christmas time, let me watch Home Alone. I'm like, I'm okay, I'm good.
This is the lukewarm episode of
yeah, right. Folks. It's a very tepid,
very tepid water so far. Ian, tell us why you hate this movie and everything about America.
No, actually, no, I don't hate Home Alone. I don't. I get both sides of the coin when it comes to Home Alone. I know those people who can't stand the movie because it's a little kiddish. You know, it's not like, you know, it's not It's a Wonderful Life. It's not Meet Me in St. Louis. It's not Christmas Story where it's all lovey, huggy, you know, kind of feel. You know, it was a goofy slapstick Three Stooges movie that came out in the 90s by John Hughes. You know, but it made bank. You can't deny that.
Well, of course, it catered to kids. Like, kids were really, you know.
It's not that I don't like the movie. I don't think it's one that I watch every year. I will say that it's not one where I have to watch, you know, Home Alone. I do have to always watch the Alistair Sims version of A Christmas Carol. I always need to watch A Christmas Story, and I always need to watch Christmas Vacation. Those are like non-negotiables, and I'd even add
Christmas Vacations are really
definitely Christmas Vacation and Emmett Otter's Jug Band Christmas for me.
You know, we tried watching that with my daughter. She got scared in like the first 5 seconds. You know,
I'm weird. My Christmas go-tos are like Rocky IV, Last Boy Scout, Batman Returns, Less Than
Die
Zero,
Hard,
like,
Die Hard, Lethal
Hard.
Weapon.
Yeah, give me Lethal Weapon, exactly. Like, give me the Shane Black Christmas.
All right, I know we're talking about Home Alone. But I need to ask: are any of you guys Die Hard 2, Die Harder at Christmas time?
No, I wouldn't say not me.
Yeah.
It's fascinating, right? We all love it, but Die Hard 2 is Die Hard 2, Die Harder. You got to add the Die Harder. Is a Christmas movie, but nobody acknowledges it as a Christmas movie. But they'll battle the first one.
Yeah, I'll do. If I can remember, I'll do Scrooged and Gremlins.
Oh, definitely gotta do Scrooge. Definitely gotta do Scrooge.
But Scrooge is if I flip through the channel, it pops on.
Yeah,
these are all far superior movies to Home Alone.
Just talking about better movies than Home Alone.
So I'll be honest, I remember going to see Home Alone 2 first. So I remember that was my first.
Oh, really?
And
you saw the sequel first?
Yeah. I saw the sequel first. We went to the theater, and the reason why is because everybody in my class was talking about the Talk Boy. Everybody was talking about that for Christmas, and so everybody had to talk about
the Talk Boy.
Talk Boy.
The Talk Boy, yeah.
The Talk Boy was huge.
That was the toy. Yeah, that became huge, but it was like sort of late to market. Like Home Alone 2 was like 92. The Talk Boy like didn't really like hit the store shelves until like late 93 or 94 or something. So it's sort of like, you know, they sort of got caught with their pants down on that one. It was like the Star Wars action figures, like, oh my God, they didn't realize like what a gold mine this was gonna be. And then again,
so I wonder whose decision it was to put it in the movie.
Yeah, what a weird thing. If it was, so was it made for the movie?
I think,
like,
yeah,
was
like
an idea made for the movie?
I think the idea is that the kid's running around with a tape recorder, and then someone's like, okay, that might not be believable. We'll make it like a kid's toy tape recorder, and we'll call it a Talk Boy instead of a Walkman. You know, it just seems like it's kind of like it sort of writes itself. You know,
maybe the movie inspired the toy.
Yes, the toy was not real until after the movie came out.
Yeah. Okay.
They realized there was a huge demand for it. Every kid wanted a Talk Boy. So then they.
And I don't ever remember, like, you know, so we talked about, like, we jumped to 2 already, you know, before Chris ever says like how he came around this movie, but I'm just saying, like, I don't ever remember how and when I watched 2, because like I said, I was never that interested in 1, and I happened to watch it on a fluke, and I don't think I said like, oh, I gotta see 2. I think I just randomly, you know.
How fast did they get 2 out?
It was 92, right? It was 90, so it was right, because again, with child actors, you got to get the sequel.
2 years,
yeah.
2 years, right?
And already Macaulay Culkin was, I mean, he was already grown up. I mean, like he was already getting older by 2.
They had to fire some kid, you know, we're kind of going a little bit off the map here, but when they're making the movie The Good Son, they had originally cast Elijah Wood and some other kid, and Macaulay's agent, also his father, demanded that they fire that kid and put Macaulay Culkin as the villain kid in The Good Son, or he wouldn't do Home Alone 2. And so they did, but then I think they held The Good Son back until after Home Alone 2, I think is what they did. You'll be in this movie, but we're gonna wait to release it until after Home Alone 2 comes out.
Yeah,
they're both movies that take place like around Christmas time. You know, one of them is a homicidal maniac, and the other one he's, you know,
nothing gets my jolly. Nothing gets my.
He's a homicidal maniac in both of them.
Yeah, yes,
nothing,
it's true. Yeah.
But at least there's
warms,
some jokes in the set in Home Alone.
Right, yeah.
Nothing warms my jingle bells than watching a mother dangle her son off a cliff. You know,
Right. That's a great holiday movie. We forgot that one. We should watch The
Oh
Good
my
Son
God!
this
Yes,
year.
that's right. That's right. Okay,
eggnog, and brothers trying to kill their sisters on ponds.
Might as
What
well just
a
have a
great
Macaulay.
season!
Might as well just have a Macaulay Culkin tribute episode.
Yeah. Next, we're going to talk about getting even with Dad.
Even with
my girl,
with Dad too. Dad harder or something.
Dad harder.
This time he's dadding twice as hard.
Home Alone with my girl and the good son.
Oh my God, my girl, of course.
How did you kill the good son? He got stung by a bee and everybody cried.
But it was the Robo Bee from Richie Rich. That's right. This is the Macaulay Culkin metaverse.
Oh, Matt, shared universe. Yeah.
Oh, Richie Rich.
Can you handle the Culkamania?
Oh man. So Chris, how did you watch
everyone on the
it?
show might not be super excited to talk about Home Alone, but I think people in the live chat might be talking about it. So I'm gonna go to the live chat for a second. I see some new names in there. Steve Robb, thank you for tuning in, my man. Nice to see you there. Owen Ellis as well. I see some familiar names: Miyagi-Do Forever, Angie Saunders, Monica Thyman. Thank you so much for tuning in again, guys. A couple mashup geniuses in the chat today. Star Atkins as well. A lot of people saying I like 1 and 2. That's it. Angie Saunders says I only saw 1 and 2. Miyagi-Do Forever, I prefer 1 and 2. Owen Ellis, Home Alone 1 and 2 are the best. So it kind of seems to be Monica Thyman, I love 1 and 2. Seems to be the consensus there. Also, VHS seems to be the drug of choice. So says Angie Saunders. Let's see. And other people are listing some of their other Christmas movies. You took even the live chat off course tonight, guys.
So
no, it's all good.
How are any of the three of you guys familiar at all with any of the ones past?
No, I mean, I remember watching Home Alone 3. And
yeah, I've seen it.
It was the kid from, I think it was Jerry Maguire. I think was the one who was in it. No, it wasn't the kid from Jerry Maguire.
No, it wasn't him. No,
it wasn't it. What was he? What was that kid in?
What kid we talking about?
The one in Home Alone
3.
Oh, he was in Liar Liar, I think.
Liar. That's what it was. Yes, he was Liar.
Yeah, he was Jim Carrey's son.
Yeah,
apparently a kid. Oh.
Well, I was just gonna say it basically told you the formula for these movies was Macaulay Culkin. I mean, it just
and John Hughes and Chris Columbus. And John Williams,
nobody was. Well, John Hughes wrote the third one.
Was it?
He did.
Or was it John Hughes?
It was John Hughes. Yeah, he did.
John Hughes.
I did a little research. I don't know. I think a lot of these movies based off of the chemistry between Daniel Stern and Joe Pesci too. I think it kind of carries it. You know, like more than Macaulay Culkin, obviously, yeah, but they without them in it either. Like and
it's interesting. I read that they gave like over the top performances because they were like indifferent to the film. They were like didn't really think it had much potential. Like
they probably thought that nobody would see it.
Yeah, like I don't think people are gonna watch this. You know, this weird Christmas movie. You know, and obviously it became gigantic.
So I did a little research into this. You guys want to hear something crazy, real quick?
Absolutely. Yeah.
The fourth one, apparently, even though it's completely recasted, is still about Kevin McAllister. Again, I haven't seen this or whatever. This is what I got looking into it with these sequels, where it's really sad. Where Peter McAllister has now left his wife and is dating a younger, really rich woman and decides to spend Christmas with her at their mansion estate instead of his family. Kevin McAllister is the only one of the kids who decides to go spend Christmas with his now divorced dad, like his mom. And then just so happens that Marv and his girlfriend have been casing the joint because they're going to kidnap someone from the royal family who's going to spend Christmas dinner with Peter McAllister's new young rich girlfriend. And Marv is played by from what's his name? Third Rock from the Sun.
Fred Stewart.
Fred Stewart, yeah, in that movie. So they're all supposed to be I know. I see the look on your face, Ian. Yeah, they're all supposed to be the same characters. So obviously,
but how old is Kevin at that time?
He looks younger from what I saw in this thing. He looks younger than Macaulay Culkin did playing the first one, but it's supposed to be him a few years later. The siblings are in it, like not the same people, not the same actors, but how crazy is that?
That's like just pissing right in God's mouth. Like, I don't even know that's just fucking insane.
How horrible
like,
is that?
It's like piss on baby Jesus for Christmas. Like, come on. Like, fuck. The only time that I feel like there is an actual war on Christmas is when they keep cranking out these terrible fucking Home Alone movies. And I like French Stewart. I'm gonna say that. Like, I actually like French Stewart, but that is just unfairly wrong. That's just so wrong. They pay people to do these things and they shouldn't. It just good lord.
So how did you watch Home Alone, Chris?
So let me tell you this story. I'm gonna take you back to the 1990 Christmas movie season because it was a fantastic time to be alive if you had parents that were a little more with it that holiday season than mine were, let's just say, in terms of pop culture. Because I remember one weekend going to the movie theater and there are 3 movies playing, 2 of which I would fucking cut off a toe to see. Rocky 5, Home Alone, and Dances with Wolves. And of course, my parents were like, let's go see Dances with Wolves. And like, I fucking, wanted to fucking tear out my fingernails for relief. It was the most boring piece of shit.
They take a kid.
Fucking 5, 6 years old.
We all know that I will defend Dances with Wolves, but not at 6 years old. I'm with you on that, Chris. That's a little bit much.
That's just like, come on, Christ.
Oh, but let's take our kids to Avatar, where it's Dances with Wolves with blue people. Okay,
they wanted to get some culture in you, Chris.
They want to educate you on
the only thing I can ever remember about Dances with Wolves to this day is the one scene where I think James Earl Jones is, if I just peed my pants, I'm going to kill myself.
That was not James Earl Jones.
Well, that's the way my mind remembers it because I haven't seen it since fucking 1990. God damn it. Like,
that's funny.
The one dude, whoever the fuck it was,
rewritten the movie in his brain.
I'm recasting it because it's been like 32 fucking years.
He had Darth Vader in the Wild West.
Yeah. So you saw they're all Darth Vader-y, and then the scene where Indiana Jones comes in, and he's all flying the Millennium Falcon. And
and they're all doing ayahuasca in the teepee.
He's teaching Luke Skywalker how to drive.
So you saw Dances with Wolves once, and it's when you were 6 years old.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
Watch it again, you stubborn.
I've seen snippets on cable since then. But
watch it again. It's a great movie. You stingy bastard! Like, stop hating that movie.
I like Kevin Costner and I like Kevin Reynolds. I like those guys, but I don't know. There's too many fucking buffalo in that movie for me.
Okay, so you saw Dances with Wolves.
There's like bisons or something, or I don't know. There's like wolves, or I don't know what it was. I can't remember.
There are wolves in Dances with Wolves.
I remember it as buffalo. Okay, maybe I spent too much time in Buffalo. I don't know.
Not that movie with the wolves.
Isn't that movie where Kevin Costner goes to a Buffalo Wild Wings
and they all dance with them?
They're all dancing.
They're all dancing with the wolves.
It's the sequel.
They shoot horses, don't they?
It's the sequel, Dances with Buffalo. Okay.
So how did you see Home Alone?
So I fucking had to wait, right? I had to wait to find out about Rocky street fighting in Rocky 5, and I had to wait and hear from all the other kids at school how Home Alone was the funniest fucking thing ever. Then one day,
did you say I watched Dancing with Wolves?
Yeah, I saw Kevin Costner's butt. I'm the best.
I couldn't tell anyone. Like, if I told anyone in first grade or kindergarten, whatever the fuck it was, like, oh yeah, I saw Dancing with Wolves instead, they would be like, kill yourself. Just kill yourself, kid.
Oh my god.
You can't recover from this.
And then Darth Vader shot himself. I mean,
so to be fair, to give my folks some credit, they were more home video people, right? So when it came out on VHS, they just bought it right away. And I think
they like their culture in the theaters. They like their comedies in the VHS.
Hey, that's the mullet version of movie making. Business in the front, party in the back, people.
Well.
So you watched on VHS.
Yes, and they bought it. It was not like we rented it first or something like that. My mom like took me to like a video store somewhere. We just like bought it like the day it came out, and I was like, okay, well,
Well,
this is
that's cool. That's
I was like, I
cool.
have a cool mom. Like, I'm excited for this. And we went to like my grandpa's house, which again, I could be wrong because like I'm remembering Buffalo and Dances with Wolves, but like I remember it as like my grandpa's house. It might have been a friend of my mom's house, and just like she would do that. She would take like a tape, like me and a tape to a friend's house, and she'd be like, you have a VCR? Like, okay. And she would just plop in a tape and like plop me down and then like talk to her friend for like, 2 or 3 hours.
I'm gonna need you to watch my kid and watch this movie.
That's
no,
right.
No, she would go to visit a friend, and she would be like, do you have a VCR here? And then I would be in some different room watching Back to the Future or Karate Kid or something.
That's right.
While they would hang out
Gen
and like
Xers.
chat in the kitchen.
That's how baby boomers babysat us. That's how it was.
Absolutely.
None of this read to your children crap. No, let the TV do it.
I remember that vividly, that a lot of like parents would give like babysitters like, hey, put this tape on,
Yeah.
So Home Alone became just one of those movies that like I really loved. Like it was this sort of 1-2 punch that year, I think, of Home Alone and Problem Child, where I was like, they're finally making movies for me. Like these are made just for me. I absolutely love everything about these.
Did Home Alone kick off the kids? I don't know what you want to call it, but like the
kids doing things that are just legit murder.
The kids in the 90s.
Yeah, the kids in the 90s, you know what I mean? Like those the like, the kid wins all, the kid, kid overcomes whatever, like the kids.
Yes.
It's like the kids that were going to be the protagonist and the kids.
Because then you got like the Three Ninjas kind of shit after that, Like I was even thinking about this the other day, like Last Action Hero, they were probably hoping they would get Macaulay Culkin for that movie. Like when they wrote that, like, Macaulay and Arnold. Like
I could see that. I could totally see
the kid from Prehistoric.
And then they're like, oh no, we got the other My Girl kid. Like it's a Monotone moment.
That's
like
right.
I want the kid from My Girl. Like, okay,
we got the wrong My Girl
from My Girl too.
What? No, not that one. Not that one.
I want the fucking Stone Girl.
It's the mountain lightning of actors.
But it just became one of those VHS movies like I watched a lot, and like Uncle Buck was one I was lucky enough to see in theaters. The Cruel Punishment for me
I saw
was that
Uncle Buck a lot in the theaters.
I didn't see Home Alone 1 or 2 in theaters, but I saw Home Alone 3 in theaters. I don't know what the fuck.
That's torture.
That's torture. Yes, I'm living in the wrong multiverse in some ways. In many ways.
When you saw 3 in the theaters, did you? I mean, you obviously you knew it wasn't Macaulay Culkin.
Yes, we knew that, and actually there was like supposedly this kid that lived like up the street from me that had like doubled for the kid in the movie, like the over the shoulder shots or something. So that like sort of made me like kind of curious to see it. And that makes sense because I remember they were doing auditions.
Hey, that's
Chicago.
Mikey's shoulder. Cool.
Yeah. I was like my friend's little brother, so I was like, all right, let's see. But yeah, I don't know. It was just terrible. But I really like Lost in New York. I think it's an excellent sequel, and especially for one that is like cranked right out and doing the Hollywood thing of the era of like, we're gonna give you the same movie with all the same beats again, but it's gonna be just like a new location or
set it differently.
Setting.
Better, but better, because let me tell we all, at least I can say, Harv and Marv, what were their names?
Harv and Marv. Harry and Marv.
Harry and Marv.
He combined the names.
He's been drinking since the last Home Alone came out.
That's right. But anyway, I remember in the theater thinking, the gags were better. The way that he tortured them in the abandoned house. I mean, that's the sole reason to watch Home Alone 2, really. But it was the same movie.
Wait a minute! Don't sleep on Bird Lady. I'm just saying.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's like yeah, you got Bird Lady, but it was the same as the Shovel Guy.
No, it's not the same. Bird Lady is more than the Shovel Guy. I love the Shovel Guy. He's from Christine and shit. But like Bird Lady wins for me. It just tugs the heartstrings a little bit more. I don't feel that sorry for Shovel Guy. Like he was probably an asshole, told off his son, and like was too stupid to pick up the phone. Like Bird Lady has nothing, and she like goes out of her way.
It's like they upped the ante a level for the whole second movie. It's the same shit. They just kind of upped it,
Totally.
You tugged
the
the
New York
heartstrings a
version is
little
more
more
intense.
Right. Yeah, it's more intense. Yeah. The beatings are more intense.
There's more life or death, right? Life and death.
Yeah,
stipulations.
Home Alone 2, Die Harder.
Exactly.
Can we acknowledge though Tim Curry? Like Tim Curry.
Oh,
man.
right, yeah.
Like, come on.
He
put Tim Curry in.
He adds a whole lot.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
For sure.
But I do remember when I saw it in the theater. I remember my dad went with me, and at the very end of Home Alone 2, they're in Lost New York. They're covered. Like Kevin had put oil or something on them, or
kerosene.
It was a kerosene or something. They looked but they looked like
Yeah.
bloody, and my dad looked at me and
Ian's
he was like,
movie they put baby oil.
I don't know what they did, but all I remember is they looked like my dad. I remember looking at me, he's like, that's how they would actually look with blood if this kid had actually done all this crap to him. I remember my dad saying that. And it's kind of true. I mean,
yeah. They're fucked
well,
up.
I mean,
Yeah.
first of all, like in the second one, I mean, there's a lot of things that are just straight up would murder someone, like nail guns or staple guns or whatever. Like in the first one, the blowtorch, a lot of different things. The nails.
I'm surprised there wasn't like a disclaimer in front of the movie.
There is now on Disney Plus.
Yeah.
Really?
Is there really?
Oh,
Wow.
there's every movie on Disney Plus has a disclaimer. I mean, it's like you might as well just disclaimer.
But this movie really should.
Well, Disney Plus is like the whole. It's so funny that George Lucas like sold to Disney Plus, because Disney Plus is just doing the George Lucas thing on like all these movies now. They apparently like removed Daryl Hannah's butt crack from like Splash, and then they like put it back in. Like,
I never actually watched Splash on Disney Plus. I don't know. Well, now they have the mature, mature feature.
Adventures in Babysitting, another Chris Columbus movie. There's the famous like, oh, Thor's a homo, and they took that out, and it's like, I get it, but that's the way it kind of kids spoke back in the day,
It seems like they take stuff out until people start to notice,
and then like
then they put it back in.
They keep calling back to the Thor's a homo. It's like a plot thread in Adventures in Babysitting, and then when they meet Thor, he's like ready to kick Brad's ass.
Yeah, he called you a homo.
Yeah,
or he said you were a homo.
No, yeah, but it's not like they dubbed him out like, he called you a froyo or something.
So what is it then? They just cut.
They just cut. Yeah.
Oh wow.
Cut those little bits out. Which is, if you're gonna do that, you at least have to do a disclaimer that you've edited.
So does it make any sense at all when they meet Thor?
Probably
the guy who looks like Thor. Yeah.
Probably just like references like, oh, didn't you remember there was the Thor comic book? It was, it's the pizza boy.
That's so weird.
Story when they ordered pizza.
Vincent D'Onofrio.
So odd.
Oh my god, right. Fuck.
Yeah.
But speaking of cameos in 2 though, I gotta throw some love to Ali Sheedy. A lot of
Donald
people...
Trump, is that what you're gonna say?
No, fuck no. Ali Sheedy.
I'm kidding.
John Hughes
Obviously.
alum from the Breakfast Club. She's one of the airline people, and when he gets to New York.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, it helps when you rewatch the movie before you do the episode. But that's one I've known that for a couple of years now. And I'm such a huge Ali Sheedy
all
fan.
These years, Chris. The audacity of you, man.
Well, you've been sleeping on Ali Sheedy in Home Alone, so you don't know what's up. How dare you disrespect the great Sheedy on this? Come on. It's very Sheedy of you.
What a Sheedy thing to do.
Yes. What were you gonna say, Mickey?
No, I'm just in awe.
All right, well, we're almost at pitch time, so I do want to preempt everyone in the live chat to and God, I'm sorry, I just see in the live chat right now Alex Bonifante says hashtag release the butt crack cut. Thank you for tuning in, Alex. Glad to have you with us, brother. So if you guys want to, come in the chat with your pitches, it always helps to write pitch at the front of your chat. Right, start with the word pitch so we know how to find them when the chat gets crazy.
Wait, before we go on though, my favorite thing though now on the internet.
No, what's your favorite thing now on the internet?
I love when people
tell
talk
me,
about
Gramps.
So I got on web TV and I was looking. I love that.
Oh my god!
I love that people debate what did the McAllisters freaking do for a life to have this house in Chicago.
His dad's in the mom.
Yeah,
that's all it has to be.
So there's so like his brother. So there's his brother is flying them all out to have Christmas with him in France, right? That's the whole point.
Yeah.
Is that right? Yeah. So I think his brother is even more wealthy and whatever than he is. So
Was
it's
he
got
like
to be.
was he a doctor or something?
I don't know. He's not Dr. McAllister. Never say that.
I don't know, but I think Kevin's dad is in the mob, and it's probably some kind of Irish mob, given the way they all look. I would have to guess.
Yeah. Well, he's
Yeah.
not a made man.
I love people. I love that meme that's out there. People debating that cracks me up.
They're definitely Irish. They each have like 36 kids.
Right? Yeah, they got a million kids, and they're all like gingers or blondes.
The mom Catherine O'Hara?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
And I will say this: we do have to acknowledge like favorite. Like before we do our pitch, we got to do our favorite moments. And I have to admit, I love Buzz. Of course. Anything with Buzz, but is great. But I laugh every single time when it comes to Daniel Stern when he gets hit with the bricks, because they do the great comedy thing in threes. He gets hit 3 times with the bricks, and it is just perfect. Like Daniel Stern can't talk; he just is pointing. It's just great.
I mean, I know
everything he does
every
so
Daniel
great.
Stern. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, talk over something.
Oh no, go ahead.
I was gonna say every Daniel Stern moment is kind of packed with that, like the spider on the face, or like that was the sound of a tool chest falling down the stairs. You know, like all that shit getting electrocuted, which I know cuts to like a dummy, but
you laugh. Don't act like you don't laugh when it cuts to the skeleton.
Oh, I love it. It's like one of my favorite moments ever. It's so fucking ridiculous. That's the Mac and me like wheelchair falling off the cliff moment, you know?
Oh my gosh.
It's just so that's what you cut to, you know.
Now, why did that have a Christmas movie? A Mac and Me Christmas movie? You know,
because why Mac and Me didn't get sequels?
Look, do you know how many Christmas toys at McDonald's you could have sold with Mac and Me? Come on.
That thing was so hideous.
I mean, it is hideous. Exactly.
It's such a monster.
What crime do we live in when we have a sequel to My Girl 2, but yet we don't have a sequel to Mac and Me?
Mac and Me. You guys should do Mac and Me on the podcast.
It's like you took like
on the show
E.T.'s belly and put it on his face, and then you have Mac and Me.
But you get that great face of I love people cut to things. It's like somebody gets hit, gets a football in the nuts, and it cuts to Mac and Me going,
getting back towards Home Alone, I gotta say, favorite moment wise, it's tough. I mean, a lot of the physical gags are great, and Buzz is awesome too. It sounds weird, but like I like the relatives when they're being mean to Kevin. Like that's the thing that feels really real. Like Uncle Frank being like, "Look what you did, you little jerk," or like, "Kevin, you're such
get
a
out of here, you
like,
nosy little pervert! I'm gonna slap
you silly." Yeah, like that kind of shit. Like the one uncle that's really cheap. You know what I mean? There's just like something about that just feels so real.
They act as almost like the relatives in 16 Candles, and for obvious reasons, but they're like,
it is very John Hughes. Yeah,
it's very similar.
Yeah. And they're like, of course, like you're what the French call les incompetents. I don't know why that's like the one quote I always remember, but
that is a quote people,
it's not, keep the change, you filthy animals. Although I do love all of that stuff. Like that shit is gold. I would watch a whole movie of
Where's
that
shit. Guy?
That guy was also in Curly Sue. He was in a couple of the John Hughes movies. People think that that's an actual old movie, but it's not.
I was going to ask, when you guys saw that, did you think it was an actual
old movie? I thought so for years. I thought so until I was like 29. Like when I found out.
Yeah, I did too. I was like, I wonder what movie that was. Yeah. Only ever seen it referenced in Home Alone.
Because like for me with movies like Home Alone 1 and 2, you become so obsessed with them as a young kid. You watch them over and over and over and over that like when you're in like middle school and shit, you're like, I'm not watching those ever again. Like I've seen them enough for a lifetime. And then like, when you're in your 20s, late 20s, like nostalgia starts kicking in and you're like, oh, this is on TV. Oh, okay. Damn, this was really good. Like, holy shit. Like John Williams did the score. No wonder it's great. Like I remember all this stuff, Ian, you often say, a movie is like a series of moments, and I feel like the Home Alone movies are mostly filled with ones that you won't forget. Like almost every scene, like there's a very good rhythm of oh, here's a great film moment. You know, every like couple of pages in the script, there's like a great, you know, film movie scene.
Well, it does the perfect job with the setup of the mousetrap. I mean, really, if you think about it, the mousetrap thing he does to the villains is really a vignette. It's like, you know, or a montage almost. Like, let's go from trap to trap to trap to trap to trap, you know, of how they get hurt, and you remember all of them. It's a really good gag movie. It really is.
But even stuff like you remember, you know, him waking up and his parents not being there, and like him watching, you know, I'm watching, you know, rubbish and eating, you know, junk. Better come pound me or whatever. Buzz him in your room, come beat me up. You know, like you remember all this little moments. I don't know. Maybe it's because I was such a, you know,
I had forgotten that
age.
I had forgotten that he genuinely believes through the whole movie that he wished them away. That's something that I'd forgotten. I thought he was just stoked, like they left without me. All right, like I'm gonna party, I'm gonna hang out till they get back. But no, he believes that he made a wish and his family completely disappeared. That's something that I had like forgotten until.
It's also a bit of me when I watch this movie that like literally goes like, "Come on, you really forgot a kid." Like, yeah,
they do everything they can to set it up. Like they
do a very
work
good job of setting it up. Yeah, because first of all, like a power outage in Chicago is like not unfucking common at all. And when the power goes out there, it's usually out for like a day or two. I remember as a kid, like, yeah, Ian, you can attest to that, right? Like average is probably like a day and a half, 2-3 days maybe when you lose power before you get it back. So that tripped out the alarm clocks, and they woke up in a frenzy to get to the airport. They did a head count in the van, and the extra kid was there, you know, the neighbor kid. Like, does this van get good gas mileage? Like, does this
kid's my favorite part. I think that kid's my favorite part of that movie. He's great. He's such a terrorist. That kid is so wild, man. That kid is wild.
Yeah, I would watch a movie where Harry and Marv break into that kid's house and he's there and he just annoys the shit out of them. Like, he's just like, do you get good gas mileage in this van? Like, do you rob a lot of houses on this street? Like, where do you sell the stuff that you rob? Like, do you think the resale value on that candlestick is gonna be a lot?
He reminds me of the kid from Bad Santa.
Yeah, the chatty version.
You want some sandwiches? You want a sandwich?
I want a Home Alone movie with that kid. You're right. That would be the one that would be a pitch right there.
Oh my God. Well, you know,
he would let them in. He would let them in. He'd be like, "Come on in."
Yeah.
Yeah, they want to play Nintendo with me.
They don't show the real movie where at the morning all the kids annoy the parents and they're just yelling, shouting, screaming. Get in the goddamn van now! Throwing all the kids.
Oh yeah.
Where's that? Yeah. Where's the real Chicago family? You know?
Uncle Frank seems like he's right on the edge.
Frank is legit.
Yeah.
Frank.
Frank's.
Well, another thing, if you think about it, Kevin's parents are probably drug users to be able to forget a kid 2 years in a fucking row. Like,
that's what
they probably have a drug problem.
I mean, like, I just, it's just the believo-meter is like lost. It's like, so let me get this straight. Like, literally, I feel like
2 years in a row.
I feel like when I heard about part 2, like I was walking through like, you know, a living room somewhere and a trailer came on and I stopped and I looked at the TV and go like, you mean to tell me this shit happened again?
You're as bad as parents as Liam Neeson in Taken.
Exactly.
Well, yeah.
She got kidnapped 3 times. You're a terrible parent.
Exactly.
It's getting to that like Hangover territory.
And do you think like
the Hangover movies? You're like, how the hell?
At that point,
third one of these.
At that point, the villain's like, you know, like, oh shit, dude. You know what? You just fucked up. You just took this guy's daughter again. I'm like,
take her back. Take her back. Take her back.
Take her back.
Here she is. Here's money.
I'm like, next thing we know, we're gonna get a call. He's gonna tell us, like, he'll find us. It's not like that.
No, he literally calls and doesn't have to say anything. It's just them, like, with awkward silence, going like
breathing.
I know.
We got somebody breathing on the phone. Oh,
I know.
You took the daughter again, didn't you?
All right. Well,
that's the pitch I want. I want home taken, or taken home.
I mean, if you think about it, there's not that much difference between Kevin McAllister and
Taken
Liam
home.
Neeson and Taken. Yeah,
it's like literally. So the pitch for that is Liam Neeson is called by Kevin McAllister because Harv and Marv actually win this time.
Harv and Marv,
whatever. But they like. I'm just saying, like, that would actually be kind of a fun movie, where there's actual blood and guts.
The R-rated.
Shut up! Everybody knows out there it should be Harv and Marv. That's a great freaking, that's a great name. Like, get out of here.
It's so great that
Harv and Marv.
It just missed the cut of getting on this final script.
That's what I'm saying. John Hughes doesn't know what he's doing. That's all.
Okay.
So Harv and Marv, right?
Harv and Marv.
For me, I think that honestly the franchise has been meandering. Obviously, like 3 and 4 and whatever, Home Sweet Home Alone, whatever they're doing on Disney Plus now, it's just like in a death spiral. And there's only one way to come out of a death spiral. There's only one way to like give this franchise the respect that it deserves, especially with John Hughes being dead. And that is to bring back Kevin McAllister. Like, I think to do a sequel that people would be excited to see, I think you need to see Kevin McAllister, Macaulay Culkin as Kevin McAllister. I should specify. But you need him back. And it's tough because it's like, how do you do Home Alone? He's like 45 years old now, But I honestly kind of, the older I get, the more I watch Home Alone, and the more I think he's legitimately just hunting these guys. Like, he could have called the cops. Like, he could have done all this shit, Or
the reverse. These guys are in jail, and now they're like, they're getting out, and the first thing they want to do is get revenge on Kevin McAllister.
Well, you just literally turned Home Alone into The Crossing Guard with Jack Nicholson. Like,
I mean, it would be a better movie. It would be a better.
Shout out to the like half a person in the live chat that's seen The Crossing Guard, by the way.
Yeah, exactly.
Very nicely done.
That same person saw As Good as It Gets.
Well,
hey, As Good as It Gets is a masterpiece.
We still have Catherine O'Hara. We still have Daniel Stern. We still have Joe Pesci. We still have Macaulay Culkin.
Yeah, John Hurd's not alive anymore. That's true.
No, he's not. But,
he was a great actor. God, I love John Hurd.
See, I want Joe Pesci though. I want old Joe Pesci, like the Irishman Joe Pesci. It's like I want that kid dead.
like super straight face. Yeah.
Yeah, Harv is now a freaking just mafia boss. Terrible guy. And
here's the deal. I see Kevin McAllister as working for like the FBI or being a cop of some kind at this point. Like, not necessarily in the best way possible, but like, he fucking hunted those guys in that first and second movie. Like, he was playing with them. That was like fun for him. Like, he's like a weird psychological profile type of FBI guy.
The Wet Bandits come back into action somehow.
But this time they're hunting Kevin.
They're hunting Kevin. All right, but somebody has to be left home alone. Someone has to be left home alone.
It's his kid, Kevin McAllister's kid.
Maybe they come after him, and he's got a kid now, and he's off. Yeah.
I'm literally telling you,
they kidnap his kid.
Taken Home Alone.
Yeah,
it's Taken Home Alone. Like, it actually works if you think about it.
That is Taken Home Alone. You're absolutely right. They kidnap his kid, and
but they don't know. They don't know the Harv and Marv kidnap the.
Oh, it's coincidental.
It's coincidental, and they're like, "Holy crap!"
Jesus. It's not like New York's not small enough where they.
What are the chances?
Into each other?
What are the chances?
But now what are the chances?
But how funny
they
would
pass
it be
by like a family photo, and they're like, "This kid."
All right, hear me out though. How funny would it be to get Macaulay Culkin to do the Liam Neeson line, like, "Hey, look, I got a set of skills." You know, like what a great trailer, right? But Kevin McAllister saying, "I got a set of skills," and you see all the booby traps. It's like,
and you know,
I don't know who you are, and you know my skills, and you just get Daniel Stern, like the camera. You don't know who it is, but the camera like pans around, and it's Daniel Stern, and he does the high pitch like at the camera. That's genius. Come on now.
Okay, so I'm sorry, I'm reading the chat here because the chat's coming in like waves. So there are some pitches in the live chat.
Waves like waves like buffaloes on the plains.
It flows like the waves of buffalo diarrhea on the shores of shit sandwichville. There's a lot of love for Tim Curry in the live chat. There is some pitching. Alex Bonafonte, of course, he never lets us down. Says grown-up Kevin is a department store security guard defending the store after midnight Black Friday. One of the robbers is a famous child a la Patty Hearst. He saves the day, gets the girl. Oh, that's a fucking really good pitch, man.
That actually, with Kevin McAllister, that actually kind of works in a way too.
He's a mall cop.
And I guess he becomes a guerrilla tactics consultant for the U.S. military. Alex also says his pitch continues. I love this.
Mickey, a mall
his pitches are coming in waves.
Mickey, a mall cop. What is this? 2007? Like, what are you doing? What are you talking about here, mall?
I mean, like you said, department store. I mean, like it's like that's old school too.
Some love for Cool Runnings in the chat. God damn it, we got to do a Cool Runnings VCR. A side note, guys. I'm trying to just catch up with the chat right now. Holy shit, it went like nuts all of a sudden.
Yeah, do a sequel to the true actual event. What? What's the sequel to Cool Runnings? They won.
Yes.
Cool Winnings. Boom.
Cool Winnings.
How about if you did like gold. How about if you did like a Home Alone kind of like, you know, documentary kind of thing, as far as like they could be interviewing Kevin about like the time he got like, you know, he busted the wet bandits and stuff like that, or he got the wet bandits like, you know, busted and everything else like that. And it's like,
I think, you know,
I kind of Mickey, you say that, but all I can think of now is like
true crime.
On TV where they hire an actor that looks like Macaulay Culkin is now
right. Reenactments,
the dramatization, the reenactments.
Yeah.
And it looks nothing like Macaulay Culkin, except
it's literally it's played by Jane Lynch in the reenactments as like she's playing Kevin McAllister.
They get the kid that played Kevin McAllister in part 3 or whatever like that. They get that kid.
I think you get what's his name? His cousin, right? What's his what's the Culkin? The other Culkin? Kieran Culkin?
Brother, yeah, Kieran Culkin.
Yeah, his brother, yeah.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah. Oh, that's funny. Because that would be funny. I like that idea.
Oh yeah, well, Fuller versus the Wet Bandits. Maybe that's how they got their name, the Wet Bandits. Maybe they tried robbing Fuller's house and he pissed him out. He flushed him out with all his piss.
And then the whole thing is like it's like a behind the music, and then the Wet Bandits got released. And then they're after him now, because so like, you know, and like he could be like doing the interview and they'll be like, Kevin, the Wet Bandits just got released.
The Wet Bandits could definitely be getting out of jail, and I do think it would be interesting. Like, imagine if Kevin like had this great career as like an FBI guy, but then somehow like he got fired or like whatever. Like, his, you know, sort of, you know, things turned shit for him, and like now he's just obsessed, and he like starts hunting these guys like when they get out, like, and he's like the villain almost. You know, like you could sort of, I don't know, play some interesting angles.
He's out for justice,
man. Yeah.
Oh my God!
Only changed the tone of those movies.
Only Macaulay Culkin looks like Steven Seagal with like the long black, you know, mullet,
painted on hair.
Oh yes.
Oh man, I'm
Home Alone 5
War Zone. Yeah, no, I mean, I think that honestly, you don't even really need Harry and Marv back. Like, it could be someone associated with them, or like, you know, the next generation.
Their kids. Yeah.
But think about it.
Yeah, their kids could be called Harv and Marv just for.
But all the sequels with all the. I mean, that's the thing with French Stewart. I like French Stewart too. Like we actually agree on that. But you want Harv and Marv. You just want those guys back.
I think that's the only way that you do this movie is getting Macaulay Culkin and the two of them back. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's tried everything else. So
yeah, it's just a known entity. It's like fan service, so to speak.
Yeah, well, I feel like if that's the right case, then you got to find a way for Catherine O'Hara to be in it too.
Oh,
why
totally.
not? What? That's easy enough.
Well, I mean, if you have Macaulay Culkin have kids, she's grandma, so
yeah,
that's true. Yeah,
grandma can go on trips with them.
He's got to figure out what's canon now.
Mm-hmm.
If that fourth movie's canon.
No. We erased everything after 2.
Yeah.
We erased everything else.
Well, here's the thing. Like,
we're going to pull a Terminator Dark Fate. All right. This is a direct sequel to 2. That's all we're doing.
Oh, they are Halloween.
You can scrub. The only one you need to scrub is Halloween. Jesus Christ. It's Home Alone 4.
Because 3 has nothing to do with
the return of Michael McAllister.
Right.
Is there gonna be a stupid serial killer that we think is gonna be Michael Myers or Michael McAllister, but it turns out to waste all my time and be the worst sequel ever?
Harv and Marv will be the killers.
Oh yeah.
Harv and Marv.
My God.
I'm just saying that is great character writing right there. If their names are Harv and Marv, you would have remembered it day one.
It's like Cat in a Hat.
That's right.
You need a rhyme for your villains.
Harv and Marv. Those are rhyming words. Harv and Marv.
Here's the way I
Harvey
see
and
it.
Marv.
Harv and Marv, they've been in prison for a long time, but then when the internet came out, they were allowed to post personal ads. Women fell in love with them, and they smuggled their sperm out of prison, and they had babies, right? And those babies are now young kids that they're gonna like use the kids, the next generation, to put McAllister, who's now an old man, in a trap. And I don't know. I just really like the idea of the tables finally being like reversed on Kevin McAllister.
I like how you took it to a route where conjugal visits weren't a thing, but instead they were smuggling out their own sperm. I like that. Yes. I like that.
Because I don't think
I also like that you just made Home Alone as a Saw movie.
Put it in this cup.
I mean, shit. It always has been a fucking Saw movie. Like, think about it. Like, he burns a guy's face off. Like, he shoves a nail through another guy's foot. He shoots staples into their ass. Like, he drops a test on him. Macaulay
Culkin wakes up. He's chained to a bathroom in this house, and there's a talk boy, and it says "Play Me."
Right, the talk boy plays.
Talk boy.
Will be Harv and Marv, right? They'd be chained in the bathroom. Yeah.
Kevin McAllister.
Oh, here's an interesting take. Alex Monfonte says, pitch, we need a fresh group of villains, but add a post-credit scene of Harry and Marv as the Stinky Bandits now or something.
They change their names.
They do need a new name. If you bring them back, you need they're the something bandits name.
The Dry Bandits?
Absolutely. The what?
The Dry Bandits are old as hell.
Really? Old bandits.
The geriatric bandits.
They need a new calling card, something that Marv would do at somebody's house to let them know they robbed it, or whatever they're doing now, whatever their new venture is into the criminal world, right?
They'd be really into NFTs. They'd be the digital bandits.
maybe they come out of jail, but they get hired. They get hired by someone like a villain, like a boss or whatever like that. They have a boss now. Dennis Leary. Dennis Leary could be the boss, the boss of them or whatever like that. And he's the whole thing is like he contracts these guys to like case houses and stuff like that. He's got this whole enterprise of people working for him, robbing houses. And so happens that one of these houses is Kevin McAllister's house, whatever.
You know what?
I want Tom Arnold.
Oh God, Tom Arnold.
Give me Tom Arnold.
Can do no fucking wrong. Here's the thought, right? What if that would
over
be great,
Dennis
actually.
Leary? Over Dennis Leary?
I just want Tom Arnold. I don't know.
Why can't you have both?
Why can't you have both?
You could have both. You could absolutely have both.
I like
Dennis Leary is like is Marv's boss and Tom Arnold is Harv's boss.
What if it's like this? What if Kevin McAllister is still working for the FBI or something, and he he actually
like
has
this.
to work with Harry and Marv. Like he uses them as informants and like spies, and he wires them
it's
up
like
and shit.
It's like a Silence of the Lambs kind of
to
deal.
rat on their old
Sort of, yeah.
boss. To
He's
rat
got
on
to
their
work
old
with
boss.
them, and like you know, you could just put them in that situation. Anything could happen. They could break out. They could go rogue against him. They could be the odd screwball team. Like, you know, he's really smart and they're fucking idiots. They're blowing everything at every step of the way.
Back in the day, there used to be 3 wet bandits, right? We don't know about that. One of them went in real early or whatever, and that's Tom Arnold. and now
I love that.
And now he's been out and he's got some crazy shit going on or whatever. And they have to go. Kevin McAllister has to go to Harv and Marv to be like, you know this guy better than anyone. You know, what are we gonna do?
I'm for this. Yes.
Yeah, that guy's been on the run for a long time. I need your info.
Show me his haunts. Like, yeah, teach me. Like, yeah, blah 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 blah.
And we got Dennis Leary
constantly like, that's it. You guys are that stupid.
What do you want? Do you want like? Do you want Daniel Stern behind like a muzzled mask? Like, what is?
No.
Yes, why would you have a mask?
Well, this is basically Silence of the Lambs here. Like,
no. First of all, we all know it should be Pesci behind the mask, and like underneath the mask, you should hear him going like,
I would love a scene with Daniel Stern is like Jodie Foster outside the jail, and there's Joe Pesci like, that would be funny. I give you that.
Well,
yeah, Danny Stern actually got out early for good behavior.
You're not going to get Joe Pesci. You're not going to get Joe Pesci to be in the movie a whole lot, other than like a small cameo. But
let's be honest. I mean, you can do no harm with this sequel as long as you have, you know, Macaulay and the Wet Bandits.
I mean, you could still do harm. You could always do harm.
You could do harm, but I don't think
it was a great movie, and that's
what I'm saying. You could always make it better.
Well, it's like the team that just did that Christmas Story Christmas. They did a pretty good job of doing a sequel to a Christmas Story.
I didn't watch that.
We just watched that the other night. It was pretty good. Yeah.
But it's like they got everybody back, and I agree with you, Mickey. It's like you can't do any wrong because they got all the people back. So it's like it's like what's an analogy? I mean, you know, you throw 100 darts, you know, at the board, one of them's gonna hit the bullseye. You know, it's kind of like
speaking of hitting the bullseye. This is too good in the chat not to share. Alex Bonafonte says after what Kevin did, Harry and Marv or Harv and Marv are both shooting blanks, and that's in reference to my conjugal visits in the
they absolutely are.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
They are not procreating. No.
They are not fertile virile men.
Nah, if they were ever, but definitely not after.
Oh my God, shit. That is great. You know what? I gotta say, I thought of Home Alone as one of those really impossible ones, but somehow we bullshitted our way through, and I think that's actually a pretty decent Home Alone movie in there. Yeah,
I actually think it'd be a good movie.
I actually do think it would be a pretty decent movie, and it's a hell of a lot better than the.
Probably would appreciate it more than the originals.
It's a hell of a lot better than the shit sandwiches that they've been serving us. And I don't get this, you know, not loving the originals. It's kind of crazy to me, but, you know, everyone's entitled to their opinion. I get it. When you see things, you have to be that right age. And I think maybe
I was past that age.
Me and Steve were the right age, and then Ian was just too highbrow. Or he's sitting there like, I wish I saw Dances with Wolves instead of this movie. You know?
He's like, what? We're not going to get the gas station pizza and watch this movie?
I love Kevin Costner.
I did get gas station pizza and watch Home Alone 2. Come on now.
I will say though, Home Alone 2 also started my obsession with New York and the East Coast. Like as soon as I was like, I have to go to New York. That seems like so much fun. That seems so fucking cool.
It definitely was.
I realized half of their New York scenes were actually shot in Chicago.
Oh
yeah, right.
Like,
does it mean anything to you, Chris, that the first one's all supposed to be taking place in like you know, the suburbs in Illinois?
I mean, so were all of John Hughes movies up to that point. So.
We have seen Chris and I have seen the suburbs of Chicago. That's not a good true.
I lived there too for a while. Yeah,
true.
That's the North Shore. That's like really ritzy. Yeah. That's
I want to see the Home Alone house in Batavia. Like, let's see that one, or in Skokie. Let's see that Home Alone house.
In Skokie, you can get the.
It ain't that.
They'd be dead.
Pretty much. Yeah.
Like
yeah,
it's like I want to see
in-
the Home Alone house
Home Alone
in
in
Rolling
Berwyn.
Meadows. You know?
Yeah.
That's not gonna happen.
It ain't
You know?
that, people.
Oh shit. Well,
I know things change. Things change.
Things change. If there are any pitches that I missed in the chat, I do apologize, guys. It seems like there's just people talking about upper deckers and MacGruber in the chat. Die Hard. It's a little all over the place tonight, which is great as long as you guys are
Upper decker.
having fun.
What?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe they're talking about baseball cards and not toilet pranks. But anyway, before we wrap it up, is there anything you guys have got coming up in the works you want to let the people know about? Articles, albums, videos, songs, and then it's just dead silence. Okay, well, nothing going on here with us, guys. You Fandom fans might want to come back next Wednesday at 9 p.m. when angels get their VCR wings for our It's a Wonderful Life episode. As always, if you enjoyed this video, the best way to help is to smash that like button and leave a comment telling us what movie or TV franchise that you want us to cover on a future episode of VCR Redux. And since you're already doing that, you might as well go ahead and like, subscribe, and follow Crash Romeo, Fandom Spotlight, the Hollow 9 Network, and Pop Culture Punk. Till then, back up those Betamax, rewind those Laserdiscs, and we'll see you at the movies.